The story starts with pure chaos as a shy, low-profile boy is suddenly chosen for nail care duty by the most chaotic girl in school. A demi-dragon girl suddenly begs him for help, clinging to him as her entire life depends on it. Azuma just stands there, wondering how two completely different people ended up in the same scene. She explains her situation in a panic. Every nearby salon has banned her, and now she has no one left to ask. The story shifts back earlier in time. Azuma sits in class, already disconnected from everything around him, quietly thinking about how different people can feel even when they share the same world. Across the room, Goto Sayori, a demi-dragon girl, takes all attention without trying. People gather around her naturally, pulled in by her energy, while Azuma stays on the opposite side of that spectrum, avoiding attention entirely. To him, she feels like another species entirely, not just because of her dragon traits, but because of how easily she connects with everyone. Meanwhile, social situations feel like a puzzle with missing pieces on his side. Then a friend suddenly interrupts his thoughts, bringing news that connects back to him directly, pulling him back into a situation he never asked for in the first place. Azuma's friend brings up a magazine feature, mentioning the model kit he submitted. He reacts calmly, downplaying it even though it marks the 4th time his work has appeared in print. For him, it feels normal, nothing worth overhyping. Inside his mind, the reality feels different. Plastic modeling takes up most of his focus outside school. He uses a small garage from his father as his own workshop. There, he spends his time building, painting, and customizing things. Sometimes his work gets featured in magazines or he gets paid projects, but to him, it still feels more like a relaxing hobby than a big achievement. Even with praise coming in, he keeps analyzing flaws instead of successes. The dirt texture on the model bothers him more than anything else. Then, out of nowhere, a girl suddenly bursts into the conversation at full speed. Azuma immediately freezes, overwhelmed by how intense her presence feels up close compared to her usual distance in class. She excitedly holds up a magazine featuring herself, talking about a demi-human fashion shoot. The contrast hits hard. Winter photoshoot, spring fashion, and her acting like freezing conditions were just another funny detail. Azuma stands there still processing everything. The contrast between her flashy world and his quiet hobby starts feeling even more unreal. She keeps speaking at full speed, complaining about people assuming she can breathe fire just because she is a dragon-type demi-human. Then she suddenly shifts attention back to Azuma's magazine feature again, still curious about his work. Azuma's friend, Miyabe, interrupts before things spiral further, trying to calm the situation. Goto Sayori apologizes quickly, realizing she has overwhelmed him, then steps back but is clearly still interested in what he does. Even after she leaves, the damage remains. Azuma stands there drained, wondering why a normal conversation never stays normal for more than a few seconds around him. His friend reacts like nothing unusual happened, pointing out that girls like Goto also enjoy anime, games, and niche hobbies. That simple fact hits Azuma harder than expected, breaking one of the assumptions he quietly held in his head. His friend points out something obvious. Nobody pushes that hard unless they are actually interested. Maybe next time, Azuma could even teach her something. That idea feels unrealistic to him. In his mind, someone like Goto forgets conversations instantly. Their worlds barely overlap, so this moment should have already ended. Later, he visits a shopping mall to pick up supplies. His mind drifts back to that interaction, still unsure what to make of it. He focuses on his usual routine, checking tools, paint, and materials, trying to stay in his comfort zone. While examining a new tool, carefully overthinking which one to choose, his peaceful moment gets interrupted again. Goto suddenly appears right beside him, like this is fate or just very bad timing. She casually starts talking, already matching his pace like they plan to meet. He answers, but inside he is fully in escape mode, trying to survive another unexpected interaction. She shows interest in what he is buying and asks questions without hesitation. Then she flips the situation again by asking him to teach her because she knows nothing about plastic models but wants to try. Azuma stands there, realizing this is not a one-time encounter anymore. She is actively stepping into his world now, and he has no idea how to deal with that. He forces himself to stay calm, trying to process the situation logically. If she is inside a model store, then there has to be a normal explanation. He just needs to treat this like any other customer asking for advice. He carefully explains the tools, suggesting sanding sponges and files. But Goto's explanation completely derails that. She describes something extreme, like she is about to grind down a rock instead of plastic. He instantly shuts that down because nothing in that store matches whatever she just imagined. Still, he tries to interpret her intent and guides her toward metal files, explaining how to start rough and move toward smoother finishes. Somehow, that clicks for her. She compares it to a buffer and immediately decides to buy it. fully confident, like she just unlocked a new skill. Azuma stands there, unsure if he actually helped or accidentally armed chaos. Goto leaves with full energy, declaring she will prove herself. And just like that, she disappears again, leaving him in the same spot, wondering what exactly he just got involved in. Azuma leaves the shop, thinking maybe that whole interaction meant nothing, just a random overlap. Maybe she wanted to build something too. Next thing, Goto shows up again looking absolutely defeated, like life just nerfed her for no reason. Azuma listens and then realizes the truth. She did not buy tools to build anything. She bought a metal file to shave her own nails. At that moment, his brain just gives up. She explains how she tried everything, but nothing worked. Not even a scratch. Instead, the file itself lost the battle. Her nails stayed untouched like boss-level armor. Azuma just stares, mentally processing the fact that her nails are stronger than actual tools. She keeps complaining about how inconvenient her dragon body is, how she cannot even do basic nail care like a normal person. And then, it clicks for Azuma, the salon bans, the weird request, and the desperation. This whole thing was not random. She really tried everything and failed so hard she looped back to the one guy who just wanted to buy in peace. She explains salon tools break too fast, and all the nail art just dies in seconds. Azuma wonders what polish even means. She casually clears it up, just normal nail paint, those tiny bottles everywhere. That finally clicks for him, and he realizes this is just another same concept, different language situation. Then she brings up his plastic model talk and connects the dots in her own way, as nails and models feel kinda similar. She thought using model tools would work. Azuma mentally pauses at that logic and realizes that is exactly how she ended up in a model shop. She happily recalls the place, a big store, tons of tools, endless colors lined up, basically heaven for her brain. She even admits seeing all those colors made her want to grab everything. She begs again for his help, as he is the only person she can rely on. Azuma freezes for a second as his mind spirals. Goto Sayori, the unstoppable gal everyone looks up to, is the type of person who looks like she has no problems at all. But now she stands there asking him for help like it is life or death. He finally speaks up logically, as nails and model kits only share a few surface similarities, nothing deeper. Everything is basically different between human nails and plastic models. She sadly agrees and looks genuinely disappointed, hands together like she is still hoping for something. He exhales and changes his mind. He decides to research it properly, not promising results, just time to figure things out. She immediately lights up again and calls him her nail artist now, way too fast, like she just unlocked a rare character. He tries to stop her excitement until he actually learns something, but the dragon baddie does not care at all. He thinks he cannot really say no when she looks at him like that, and honestly admits he is not confident at all about nails, or whether he can actually pull this off. She thought he would refuse, so she is already thankful he even agreed. Azuma thinks she was ready for rejection, but still tried anyway. He also realizes that introverts do not even get that level of courage to ask stuff in the first place. Still, this does not feel forced. In fact, he starts getting curious about nails. He tells her about his dad's garage space, where he builds plastic models. It is messy, but perfect for focus. If they are doing nail stuff, that place should work too. She instantly calls it his salon, which he rejects hard because bro does not run a beauty business. She ignores that and gets hyped anyway, saying she will wait. After she leaves, Azuma stands there thinking her emotions have zero lag, like instant Wi-Fi reaction speed. He wonders what he even needs for this. And that is how he gets dragged into becoming the nail artist for a dragon girl for his first official request. The scene shifts a few days later as Azuma stands in his garage, casually talking to his plastic model like it is a normal emotional support system. He sets nail supplies on the table and starts testing ideas while thinking that a few days have passed since Goto Sayori dropped the nail mission on him. The plan is still simple, just apply polish, but his brain refuses to stay simple about it. It keeps feeling like painting a plastic model with a brush, but also not quite that. He keeps overthinking it. Goto was basically sanding her nails like she was prepping a tank before paint. In model terms, that step means primer, smoothing, layers, and the whole process. Even sanding comes first sometimes. So he starts connecting it in his head like nails might just be the human version of model finishing, just way more fragile and way more stressful. He gets a bit locked in, like he just unlocked secret knowledge no one asked for. Then suddenly, the garage atmosphere gets violated by pure energy. Sayori shows up out of nowhere, full speed, like a notification you did not ask for but cannot mute. Azuma freezes instantly. He realizes this is no longer a calm hobby space. It is now officially a chaos collaboration project. She suddenly shows up and starts explaining everything at full speed. A few days have already passed, it is Sunday, and she just knew he would be in his garage. So she went around searching garages like she was on a mission, and this is already the third one. She even admits she got way too excited when she finally found him. Azuma just stands there thinking this is not normal behavior, but somehow, he is not surprised anymore. Then she casually points out that they never even exchanged contact info. If she is going to rely on him now, that is required. Azuma awkwardly agrees, and they exchange numbers, realizing his peaceful life just took a hit. He also admits there is only so much he can figure out about nails on his own. She immediately jumps to the main topic and asks if he can do her nails now. Azuma hesitates and explains he still does not fully understand why polish does not work on her nails, so he needs to check her hand first. She agrees instantly with zero hesitation, like trust level maxed out for no reason. He reaches out, already expecting something weird, because at this point, everything about her is built differently. Then she casually tells him to drop the formal stuff and just call her Sayori, since it is easier. He hesitates when she pushes the whole first name thing, but she keeps insisting, saying they already talk a lot and it just feels right. So he awkwardly gives in and calls her Sayori, instantly unlocking her happy mode like a game achievement. The moment turns soft, but then he snaps back to work mode and inspects her hand, and yeah, it is not normal at all. Her skin feels rough, almost like scales, and her nails are curved like sharp golden claws. Touching them even feels a bit dangerous, like he could lose a finger just doing his job. When he looks closely, he notices the surface is uneven and a little spiky, which might be why nail polish doesn't stick properly. Meanwhile, she starts feeling shy because he's quietly holding her hand, and it feels weirdly intense, like a romantic moment. He gets confused and reminds her he's just doing her nails, not confessing his feelings. She goes quiet, realizing he's right. He decides to try anyway. He opens the nail polish and focuses carefully, controlling the brush like he's working on a detailed model. For him, it suddenly feels serious, but also a bit funny, like he's facing the final boss of nail art with dragon claws. 10 minutes later, the nail polish starts cracking like dry paint and peels right off, like it never wanted to stay. She isn't surprised and explains this always happens. Nothing sticks to her nails, not even glue. Even professionals at salons usually give up after trying. He listens, nods, and changes his approach. Instead of treating it like normal nail care, he decides to handle it like surface preparation, since he's used to sanding things before working on them. She gets excited, like he just switched into expert mode, but he brushes it off because to him it's just basic work that takes patience. Then he casually asks what her nails are made of. She mentions that dragon horns and scales might contain iron, which makes him realize this could be more like a metalworking problem than regular nail care. He pauses, processes that like bro just updated the difficulty setting, then asks if he can use a model file on her nails, and she gives full permission with zero hesitation. Before starting, he warns her that there is nothing cool about this. No secret technique, no anime power-up, just repetitive, boring work. She looks betrayed because she expected some ultimate move, while he keeps it real, saying building models is literally just doing the same tedious steps again and again until it finally looks right. She points out that even a metal file failed before, so doing things the normal way feels impossible. And honestly, she is not wrong because her nails literally flatten steel like it is nothing. He pauses, realizes this just turned into a boss fight, and concludes he needs something harder than steel. Then he pulls out a set of diamond-coated files like he just unlocked endgame gear, confidently saying even dragon nails cannot beat diamond. He picks the strongest one, locks in, and tells her to speak up if it hurts. Then he starts filing slowly and carefully, full focus mode, no shortcuts, just steady work. And finally, it works. Her nails actually start shaping properly for the first time. She loses it, shocked and hyped at the same time, while he feels that quiet pride kick in because, yeah, the method paid off. He tells her to stay still and not move yet, fully focused on finishing the job because now that it is working, there is no way he is fumbling this. An hour passes, and bro is already fighting for his life, shoulders dead, energy gone, and it took all that time just to finish one nail. He tries to stay calm and moves on, saying prep looks done, and they can try applying polish again. She lights up instantly, thanking him like he just carried the whole mission, genuinely happy because no one ever got this far with her nails before. But he looks at the bigger picture, and reality hits hard. One nail took an hour, so finishing all of them would take forever. Like this is not a hobby anymore. This is a full-time job. She quietly asks if there is any way to fix that, and he starts thinking fast, maybe adjusting the process or being more efficient, but every option still takes too long. Then, he finally admits it. This is beyond him. His field is plastic models, not nails, and he cannot figure it out right now. She takes it way better than expected, accepts it, even blames herself for dragging him into this just because of a random idea, but still smiles and appreciates the effort he put in. That hits a bit harder than expected. Then she suddenly stands up, switches back to her cheerful mode, and says she will figure it out herself and does not want to take up more of his time. He tries to stop her, saying he will not give up, but she has already decided, waves it off, and leaves like it's nothing. And just like that, she exits, leaving him there mid-thought, like bro did not even get to finish his sentence. As she leaves, it finally hits him. He calls himself out, realizing those nails were never a simple task to begin with. There is a reason she got turned away from so many salons, and still, she kept trying, even trusting him just because he is good with models. And the worst part, when he said it was impossible, she just smiled and walked away like nothing happened, hiding it clean. That part does not sit right with him at all. He looks around at his models, all the builds he struggled through over the years, the ones that felt impossible at first but still got finished after enough trial, error, and stubborn grinding. That is literally how he got here. Not talent, just refusing to quit. And then it clicks. What he actually enjoys is not just models, but turning ideas into something real. So there is no reason nails should be any different. He jumps into research mode, scrolling, thinking, connecting ideas like his brain just entered overclock. He keeps pushing himself. There has to be a method, something he can adapt, something no one else has tried yet. He refuses to let it end like that. And then suddenly, it clicks. A new idea forms, and this time his expression changes completely. Yeah, this might actually work. The scene shifts to the garage, where he works in silence, fully locked in, carefully painting and finishing something with insane focus. He exhales, saying the clear coating is finally done, and now it just needs to dry before giving it to her. A few days pass like this, and every single day after school, he goes straight to the garage, grinding non-stop just for her nails. At school, they make eye contact a few times, and now has no idea how to recover from that. Still, he does not stop. Then it cuts to 3 days earlier, when he walks home holding something suspicious, like he just did a side quest he was not mentally prepared for. Turns out he bought her fashion magazine for inspiration, but now he is overthinking it, wondering if he actually bought it just to look at her. He immediately shuts that thought down, telling himself to stay focused because this is strictly for the mission, no weird stuff allowed. He flips through the pages, studying different demi-humans like it is research material, noticing all kinds of designs and styles. And then he suddenly pauses on one page, staring at a girl with blue skin and 4 arms, completely confused, like, what even is this build? He finally spots her page in the magazine, and yeah, that is Sayori. He studies the photo, noticing her nails are not done at all. Then it clicks, none of the demi-humans in the magazine have their nails done either. Some have claws, some have fur, so yeah, doing nails on them probably feels like an impossible side quest. Maybe there are a lot of girls like Sayori who quietly struggle with this. He does not fully get it, but one thing becomes clear. Her nails matter to her. A lot. And if he were told he could never build or paint models again, he would probably look just as frustrated. Back in the garage, he keeps working, more focused than ever. She deserves to style her nails however she wants, just like he gets to create his builds. He just needs to finish this one thing and hand it to her. Simple plan. And then chaos enters. The door swings open, and Sayori storms in at full volume, calling him out for ignoring her messages like bro just ghosted her entire existence. He panics, tries to process the situation, then immediately switches to damage control, telling her to get outside for a moment because the garage is full of paint fumes and still a mess. 10 minutes later, she shows up as if nothing happened and confirms she actually waited. He apologizes for the delay and explains he muted notifications to focus on work, just now seeing her messages. She instantly explodes in worry mode. He panics a bit because he did not think it was that serious and admits he barely uses his phone anyway. She immediately goes full serious mode, demanding he change his phone settings right in front of her, like it is an emergency safety tutorial. He just gives in and agrees. Then he admits he thought she would stop relying on him after what happened. She reminds him that they only paused because it took too long. Both of them realize they completely misread each other. He thought she was backing away. She thought he was pushing her away. Then she apologizes too, saying she assumed he was avoiding her, while he realizes he was just overthinking everything again. She then casually shifts the topic to plastic models. He calmly says he was not building plastic models this time. Instead, he reveals a set of nail tips he made, and she immediately freaks out because they are literally shaped like her nails. He explains them like a full tutorial mode activated, saying nail tips are fake nail pieces you can design, decorate, and attach, usually plastic, so even someone like him can work with them. She gets way too excited and calls him a genius, like he just speedran a tech invention. He stays quiet, but in his head, he admits he studied her nail shape way too closely from magazines and observation. But yeah, that part stays locked in the vault. Then she suddenly remembers the big problem. Adhesive does not work on her nails at all. He just tells her to try anyway and not overthink it. She is confused because glue and tape have already failed in her life multiple times, but he insists the design does not need them. She places it on her nail anyway, and suddenly it actually sticks. She freezes because that should not have worked. He explains he added tiny magnets inside the tips, the same kind used in model kits for detachable armor parts. He figured it would work since her nails contain iron, so instead of glue, they just snap into place. She is completely stunned while he just explains it like it is a normal hobby, logic, but in reality, he basically turned nail art into an engineering mode. She suddenly gets emotional, asking if he really made all of this just for her, especially after he once said it was hopeless. He explains that, yeah, he did think it was impossible at first, but instead of quitting, he just reused his model building skills to force a solution. He adds that they are not even real nail tips in the usual sense, just something he engineered in his own way. In his mind, he admits he agreed because she relied on him and he wanted to see her smile. Both things are true, but the biggest reason is simple. He just did not want to give up. He says it directly too, saying he refused to quit. She instantly switches mood again, fully excited, asking if she can try all the nail tips. He agrees, and she starts going full test mode, asking about colors and effects. He explains everything like a technician: metallic paint, airbrush gradients, all done with plastic model tools. She just keeps getting more amazed, staring at her hand like it is magic, completely shocked that her nails actually look beautiful for the first time. Then she basically loses it in excitement, saying she cannot believe she actually did her nails. He watches her reaction and finally relaxes a bit, feeling relieved that it worked. But at the same time, reality starts creeping in. He thinks about how strange this whole situation is, how it started as a one-time request, and in his head, he assumes it probably ends here. They exchanged numbers, but once the nail thing is over, she will likely stop reaching out. Just another short connection that fades out. Right after that emotional moment, she suddenly forgets personal space entirely and tackles him in a full-on hug, thanking him like he just saved her life. His brain basically blue screens on the spot. He panics and yells for her to get off him, while she quickly apologizes, saying she just got too excited because she is genuinely happy. He is still stuck on one thought, like, are all gals like this, or did he just unlock chaos mode with her specifically? Then she immediately switches topics like nothing happened and starts asking what they should make next. He freezes because, in his mind, this was supposed to be a one-time mission, not a full ongoing series. He tries to shut it down, saying nails were never meant to be a repeat event. But she just laughs it off and goes into full excitement mode, throwing out ideas: gel nails, matching nails with outfits, photo shoot designs, friendship sets, even something called Oshi nails. Before he knows it, he's drowning in terms he never asked for. To him, it feels like nails just expanded into an entire universe overnight. He stands there, completely overwhelmed, while she keeps smiling like this is only the start. That's when it hits him. This was never going to be a one-time thing. Then she shares what she calls a girl's secret, explaining that people always notice hands, so nails are basically constant fashion on display. In her view, sticking to one style is as limiting as owning just a single outfit, and she refuses to live with that kind of boredom. He tries to process it and ends up comparing it to his own plastic models. He also likes keeping his work visible just because it feels satisfying, so in a strange way, he understands. Then she suddenly declares him her personal nailist, like he's been promoted without agreeing to anything, and makes it clear there's no way out. That's when he realizes he's somehow stepped into a long-term role in her life without ever seeing the job description. His brain short-circuits as he accepts that this connection isn't going anywhere, even though he never planned for it. Just as he tries to steady himself, she hugs him again, like he's a championship trophy, repeating the title Nailist like it's official. He panics, telling her to stop clinging to him, while one thought loops in his head: how did a quiet, introverted model builder end up getting adopted by a chaotic dragon girl like this?
Here I am, know it's been a while. I was in denial about my love. Here I stand, I know I walked away. Had to find the place